Okay, so picture this. Your body. It's like a massive city, like a bustling metropolis. But instead of people, it's filled with trillions of cells. And all these cells are constantly communicating, sending messages back and forth. And they do it through these tiny little couriers, these things called extracellular vesicles, or EVs. And these EVs, some of them, they carry signal that can actually be early warning signs of diseases, like cancer, for instance. But here's the catch. Finding these EVs, it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, right? They're so tiny and rare, it's been a real challenge, at least until recently. Because now, there's this incredible new technology called Deep Nanometry, DNM. And DNM is changing everything. Basically, it combines high-speed optical detection with artificial intelligence. And it can actually spot these tiny EVs with incredible accuracy. It's like, imagine trying to find a specific star in the night sky. It's overwhelming, right? There are just so many stars up there. But what if you had a special filter that could block out the light from all the other stars except for the one you're looking for? Well, that's kind of what DNM's AI does. It helps researchers zero in on these EVs even when there's a ton of other stuff going on. At the cellular level, it's amazing. And get this. DNM can detect particles as small as 30 nanometers. Now, 30 nanometers, that's billionths of a meter. We're talking incredibly tiny. And not only that, it can process over 100,000 of these nanoparticles every single second. That kind of speed and sensitivity, it makes finding those rare EVs, well, a lot easier. It's like suddenly having a superpower, right? Being able to see things that were previously invisible. And this is having a huge impact on research, especially when it comes to early disease detection. Okay, so we've talked about how DNM can spot these incredibly tiny EVs, but how does it actually work? How does it manage to pick out those specific particles from a sea of other nanoparticles? It's like, finding a specific grain of sand on a beach, right? Well, the secret lies in this thing called unsupervised deep learning. It's basically a type of AI that can learn to identify patterns, all on its own, without any human help. Like imagine teaching a computer to see the world through a nano-sized microscope. That's kind of what's happening here. So researchers, what they do is they fill the AI tons of images of EVs and other nanoparticles. And then the AI goes to work. It analyzes all these images and starts to pick up on these tiny visual differences between the particles. Differences that we humans, we couldn't even see. And over time, the AI, it gets so good at recognizing the unique visual signature of each EV. It's like the AI develops its own set of fingerprints for each particle so it can quickly and accurately identify them, even when they're surrounded by a whole jumble of other nanoparticles. And this is why DNM is such a game changer. Because before DNM, scientists had to rely on methods that were super slow and often missed those rare EVs altogether. It was like searching for a needle in a haystack, but blindfolded. But now, with DNM, they have a tool that can really pinpoint those EVs with incredible accuracy. And that opens up a whole new world of possibilities for research and development. Like, for instance, scientists can now study EVs in much greater detail, which means we can start to really understand their role in disease, like cancer, for example. Researchers are using DNM to study those EVs released by cancer cells. And those EVs, they can contain proteins and genetic material, which can tell us so much about the tumor, like how aggressive it is, or its potential to spread, or even its susceptibility to different treatments. So this could lead to more personalized therapies for each patient. It's like, imagine having a treatment plan tailored specifically to you based on the information gleaned from your own EVs. It's pretty incredible, right? And remember how we were talking about DNM's potential for vaccine development? Well, it gets even more exciting. Because scientists are now using DNM to track the spread of infectious diseases in real time. Like, imagine being able to identify the specific virus or bacteria causing an infection much earlier than we can with traditional methods. That could be a game changer when it comes to controlling outbreaks, especially for new emerging infectious diseases. And we could even use DNM to monitor the health of our organs by tracking the EVs released by different organs. Think about it, being able to assess the health of your heart or your liver or your kidneys just in a simple blood test, long before any symptoms even appear. That kind of early detection could be life-saving, right? It's like we've suddenly been given this key to unlock a whole new level of understanding about our own bodies and the world around us. We're talking about a future where we can detect diseases earlier, personalize treatments, develop better vaccines, and even monitor our environment with incredible precision. It's pretty mind-blowing, but there's one big question, right? All this amazing technology, it must come with a pretty hefty price tag, right? So will this technology be available to everyone who needs it? Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? I mean, you're right. Cutting-edge technology like this, it usually does come with a pretty high price tag, at least at first. But the good news is, the goal with DNM is to make it as widely available as possible. And one of the things that makes DNM so promising is its speed and efficiency. because by making the detection process faster, it could actually end up reducing the cost of diagnostics overall. Think about it. If we can detect diseases earlier, that means we can treat them earlier, right? Which could mean less invasive treatments, shorter hospital stays, and hopefully better outcomes for patients. And all of that could lead to some pretty significant cost savings for healthcare systems, really all over the world. Plus, like with any new technology, the cost tends to come down over time as it becomes more widely adopted and production scales up. So yeah, the team behind D&M, they're really committed to making this technology affordable and accessible to everyone, no matter where they live or their economic situation. It's really, I think, about making sure everyone has the chance to benefit from this incredible technology.